Good afternoon, and it's a bloody scorching hot Saturday afternoon, so if you can hear the fans at either end, tough shit. Yeah, went out on the booster the other day, you might have seen the video, might not, and was just riding around the local streets for about 20 minutes, half an hour, at low speed. Oh yeah, and the seat had the dimples in it when I first put the cover on. They've now gone. So I think it was more where it was packed and folded. So they've gone. That's stretched out nicely. Yeah, went out for about 20 minutes, half an hour, just around the local streets. Again, scorching hot day. I think it was last Saturday I went out, something like that. But I can't really tell you dates because when you see this is way after when it goes out. No, way after I've filmed it, something like that. Anyway, so yeah, went out, as I say, 20 minutes, half an hour, out and about, and needed some petrol, so I pulled into the petrol station, get some petrol, and when I went to restart the bike, 12.89, that's alright, isn't it? You don't want to actually see that, do you? You'll believe everything I say. Hang on, let's see if I can get you somewhere where you can see it. Just for the non-believers. Let's go that way. That way. There you go. 12.89, which it should be. Yeah, pulled into the garage, got some fuel. When I went to restart the bike, it went like it was a dead battery. It was a whoop, 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 and then started up. Got it home, which is quarter of a mile from the petrol station, and turned it off and immediately on again, and had the same thing. Still started, but it was definitely dying. Checked the battery, and it was registering it had, with the ignition on, it was registering it at 12.2 volts, which is obviously low. When I turned the ignition off, it was going up to 12.6, which isn't too bad. I think 12, is it 12.5 is a bad battery, or 12.4 is a bad battery? Not sure. So anyway, took the tank up, pulled the wires for the stator, did the check on the wires, make sure there's no continuity to earth, and made sure they was all connected so there's no break in the stator. That was working fine, and then did the obligatory start-up test. So there you go, you got 14.2 on tick over. I don't want to rev it. Do I? Turn it off before I choke to death. But yeah, so as you see there, 14.2, nice steady charge rate, going up to about 14.3. I probably only got it up to about 3,000 or 4,000 revs there. I don't know why I'm still showing there, it's off. So the charge system seemed all fine. I'd already taken the bolts out of that, by the way. I don't leave my seats unbolted. So the charge system seemed alright. All I could put it down to was, it was a boiling hot day, and the fans were going, and I was riding around sort of 1500, probably 1500 revs, maybe reaching 2000, because I was just around the local streets just testing out. I'd put bar risers on, 27mm bar risers on, so I was just testing out the comfort of them at low speed, because obviously that's where you suffer on a sports bike. and they were working out fine, but I think because I was going so slow, I never put a charge into the battery, and with all the electrics on and the fan going mad, fans should I say, 2 fans going mad, it's just drained the battery. It hasn't been able to recover. So when I found that with the ignition off, that was the Hayabusa was 12.6, I tested my other bikes and I found mediocre was at 12.6, which, having not been used for a couple of weeks at the time, been used since, not neglecting it in this hot weather, I thought 12.6, that's alright. Got to the Corona and it was 12.2, and it's like, that's not good. That is not good. Let's see what it is now. Yeah, so it was 12.2. So it's really easy one-handed. Really easy. Let me show you how easy it is. Here it is. Easy. Come on. Easy. Missed it. Peasy. There you go. 12.2. So that's weak. Because as I say, it should be 12.5 or is it 12.4 is an alright battery. Under that you're starting to have a bit of a dead battery. And those who follow me regularly realise I've had problems with the battery. So again, I started this one up with, I didn't check the stator, I just started it up. Let me just start it up. I'm going to choke to death in here. My little wooden shed. Let's give it a bit of that, bit of that. So there you go, charging alright. I think it's anything between 13.5 and 15 on the GSX for your charge circuit. You see there it's 13.9, that's on tick over. You're meant to actually test it at 5,000 revs, but having just started it, I'm not going to rev it. Even I'm not that much of an animal. Not on camera anyway. So again, charge circuit's fine. I think with a, which way round is it? With a dodgy stator you ain't getting a charge, so you'd have less than 13.5, and then if you're charging over sort of 15, usually it means your regulator rectifier's gone tits up. So I think it's just the battery. And only having had the bike a year, just over a year probably, I don't know the history of it. So what I decided was, the Busa was given to me, it wasn't given to me, I bought it. I was given a brand new battery with it, which started the old alarm bells going, because it's like, well, who out there has ever been sold a bike and given a battery? And it's like, right, so is there something wrong with the charging circuit, or is there something wrong with the regulator rectifier? And I had none of those problems, and as I say, when I did the tests they all came back positive. So I think he's done the same as me. He started it up, I don't know, after it's sitting for a while, he's let it get up to temperature to make sure everything's working, the fans have kicked in, and it just hasn't given enough power back into the battery, and he's thought that's a little bit sluggish, I'll give him a battery. I don't know for sure. I didn't ask, and I haven't asked since, but I got given a battery, and I thought, right, okay, the Busa can have the brand new battery, the battery that comes out of that I'll stick in here. Obvious. But this is the battery that came out the Busa. This is the new battery that I've had to buy to go in the Corona. bit of a difference. So it was a choice between putting this battery in and not putting the seat back on and just sitting on the top of the battery, which I'm too old for uncomfortable seats. So I bit the bullet and bought another battery, because 12.2, I don't know whether you heard it then when I went to start it up, but there is that slight hesitation, and it's like perhaps that's the problems I've had previous. There just hasn't been the charge in the battery when I've gone for it, when I've asked it to start and it's gone no, but then I don't know, it's miraculously got that 0.1 of a volt extra that it needs to activate the resistor or whatever, and it started. I don't know, but 12.2 is definitely too low, so I bought another battery, which I now need to fit. But first I need to get some tools. So yes, I went from thinking I'd been a little bit lucky, the charging system and everything works on the Busa, and I've got a brand new battery which I could use elsewhere, to it actually costing me, I mean it's probably lucky I found out that the battery was a bit shite while I was in the shed, rather than having gone somewhere and not being able to get the bike going, because I ain't the fittest of blokes, so if it doesn't start off the battery, I really need to get it started on the first run and jump I do on it to bump start it, or else I just won't have any any puff left. Oh, I've forgotten to put the nuts in and get your handy nuts and bolts. Yeah, so early ownership problems of the Busa, but more down to the idiot owner than the fine beast of a machine. Hopefully. I mean, I've used the Busa for work a couple of times this week, so I've given it time to rest as such, and then given it a whirl, and it's been fine, which it should. It's a new battery, but that's the first test I've done on the battery since I've put it on, and it's still, what was it, 12.89. Oh, don't do that. Don't do that, you clown, unless you've got one of these. Marvellous. Yeah, 12.89, so it's definitely getting charged and holding a charge, which again it should. It's a brand new battery, and I know it's a brand new battery because I had to put the acid in it, which it shouldn't have been transported like that. I think these days when they're sold they have to be put together. Oh no, if you're getting them delivered. I suppose this was a bike courier who was couriering bikes rather than on a bike couriering. Yeah, so I had to put the fluid and everything in myself, in the battery, and so I definitely know it's a brand new battery. There you go, 12.7, 12.78, 12.77, 12.78. Can you see it now? 12.78. Alright? Spot on 12.78. Beautiful. And holding. So, yes, as I say, a little glitch with the Busa, but now it's got a brand new battery on it. So's the Corona, and probably Mediocre will want one now, being that the other two have had one. They all tend to come out in sympathy with each other, especially the Corona and the Honda that I had for some reason. There you go. Tested, seen it, charges well. Tested, seen it, charges well. So hopefully it's just the batteries, because the old Suzukis, I think they are prone to eating a regulator or two. But there you go. I thought I'd share that with you. I've fitted a battery. It's well worth having such a gorgeous workshop. Oh, the fan's lovely. It's such a hot day. Well worth having such a gorgeous workshop so you can fit a battery. You've got to have somewhere to put your 10mm sockets, haven't you? Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you again, hopefully.